I still remember the day I checked my portfolio and realized I'd lost almost 4 years of progress. Not because I made some huge investing blunder, but because I waited. I hesitated. I did what most people do. I chased the flashy stuff. Tech stocks, the next big thing, anything that felt exciting. I watched my buddy dump $100,000 into dividend ETFs while I tried to ride every wave the market threw at me. I laughed at him. That's boring, I said. You'll never get rich with that. Fast forward 13 years, he hit $1.2 million. I barely crossed half of that. That moment stung. Not because he won, but because I finally saw what I'd missed. There's this quiet, nearly invisible path that turns consistent effort into unstoppable wealth. It doesn't require timing the market. It doesn't care about headlines. It just works. The kind of strategy where you wake up one day and realize, wait, I'm actually free. This isn't some overnight success story. It's about the math no one explains, right? The system nobody teaches. The 4 ETFs that changed my life. And the exact plan you can start using this Monday morning. Because if you've ever felt stuck between working forever and hoping something works out, then this video might be the most important thing you watch this year. All right, here's what nobody told me about dividends. When I first got into dividend investing, I thought I was being smart. I'd open up these charts, filter by highest yield, and convince myself I'd crack the code. 6%, 7%, sometimes even 9% yields. I thought, why isn't everyone doing this? But what I didn't realize, what most beginners don't, is that high yield is a trap. See, a company offering a huge dividend is usually doing it for one reason, to convince people to hold their stock. That's often a red flag, not a reward. They're paying you big, because the business underneath might be struggling, and when those dividends get cut, so does your income and your portfolio value. I learned this the hard way. I saw my safe 8% yield vanish overnight. Meanwhile, my buddy Harry, the same one I joked about for investing in boring ETFs, was seeing his dividend payments increase every year. That's when it clicked. It's not about the highest yield today. It's about how that yield grows tomorrow. This is what nobody teaches you. A 3% yield that grows 10% per year will crush a flat 6% yield over time. After a decade, it's not even close. Your income doubles, then triples. Not because you picked some flashy stock, but because you understood the math behind dividend growth. Let's break this down simply. When your investments pay you dividends and you reinvest those dividends to buy more shares, you're creating a feedback loop. Those new shares, they pay you more dividends, which buy more shares, which pay more dividends. It's income buying income, and that's where the real magic starts. It's like rolling a snowball downhill. At first, not much happens. A few flakes stick, but the longer it rolls, the more snow it picks up, and eventually it becomes unstoppable. That's what dividend reinvestment does. But there's a catch most people overlook. How often you get paid matters. Here's the stat that changed my mindset. If you reinvest monthly instead of quarterly, your portfolio grows 0.3% faster per year. That might sound small, but on $100,000 over 15 years, that's $47,000 more. Same investments, same contribution, just faster compounding because of frequency. That's when I realized this isn't just math. It's a machine, a boring, beautiful machine that gets more powerful the longer you leave it alone. And the crazy part? Most people never even see it working until it's already changed their lives. These 3 boring ETFs did something crazy with my money. Once I understood the power of dividend growth and reinvestment, the next question was obvious. Where do I actually put my money? I didn't want to stock pick. I didn't want to track earnings reports or chase the next hot sector. I wanted peace of mind and predictable income growth. That's when I built my portfolio around 3 core ETFs, and later added one final piece that tied it all together. The foundation, SCHD. This is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. Sounds boring, but SCHD is like the engine of this whole thing. It focuses on high-quality companies with strong track records of raising dividends year after year. We're talking 10% plus average dividend growth annually. That's not hype. That's historical fact. And with a rock-bottom expense ratio of 0.06%, you're not losing money to fees. Wisdom Tree US High Dividend Fund. This one pays monthly, not quarterly. That frequency adds fuel to the snowball. More reinvestments, more momentum. While everyone else waits 3 months to feel progress, you're seeing your income grow every 30 days. And that does something powerful, not just to your money, but to your mindset. Then comes IDV, the iShares International Select Dividend ETF. Why? Because no matter how strong the US market looks, it's never smart to be 100% exposed to one country. IDV adds global diversity. European companies with consistent dividends. Different economies, different cycles. When the US dips, these often hold steady or even rise. But even with those three in place, something was missing. That's when I found FGD, the first trust Dow Jones Global Select Dividend ETF. FGD quietly picks the best dividend payers from around the entire world, not just the US or Europe. Asia, Latin America, Australia. It doesn't care where the company's from, only that it pays consistently. This is your silent correlation breaker. When one region stumbles, FGD balances the hit with strength from another. It's the ETF most investors never look at, and the one that gave my portfolio real resilience. So yeah, these tickers don't look exciting. They won't win you any bragging rights. But you know what's better than bragging? Quietly becoming a millionaire. Now, here's the setup that made it all run like clockwork. Now, let me be clear. It wasn't the ETFs alone that got me to $1.2 million, and it was the system behind them. The first rule? Automatic reinvestment. Every single dividend I received, no matter how small, was set to automatically buy more shares. I didn't touch it. I didn't think about it. That's what made it work. The second piece? Monthly contributions. I started with $500 a month, nothing fancy, but that extra $6,000 per year shaved 3 years off my millionaire timeline. Just by showing up every month, even when the market was down, even when I didn't feel like it, and finally quarterly rebalancing. Every 3 months, I'd check which ETF had outperformed. I'd sell a little to the winner and buy more of the laggard. No overthinking, no trying to beat the market, just systematic discipline that forced me to buy low, sell high, without pretending I was smarter than the market. That's it. No crypto, no options, no 3 a.m. Reddit threads. Just 4 ETFs, a repeatable system, and time. Let's break down the exact numbers. This part shocked me. All right, let's get into the part that made me stop messing around. The math. I ran the projections, I built the spreadsheet, I cross-checked the data, and here's what it showed. Starting with $100,000, adding just $500 a month, and reinvesting all dividends in this 4 ETF strategy, your wealth compounds like this. Year 1, $118,892. Year 3, $136,418. Year 5, $189,455. Year 7, $287,634. Year 10, $534,891. Year 12, $742,963. Year 14, $1,019,847. Just let that last number land. $1 million without stock picking, without gambling, without trying to time a single market dip. Just consistent investing, steady contributions, and reinvested dividends. Now contrast that with what most investors do. They buy the next hot stock, Tesla, Amazon, Google. They sit on it hoping for a 10 times return. Sometimes they get lucky, but more often, they buy high, panic when it drops, and sell low. Or they hold forever, watching the stock price move sideways for years while their money sits idle. This dividend strategy? It's the opposite of that. It doesn't depend on luck. It runs on math, and math doesn't care about your emotions. It just works. But here's the truth. I almost missed all of this. I waited 2 years before I got serious. I told myself the usual excuses. I'll start next month. I'm still researching. Now's not the best time to invest. By the time I finally acted, I'd lost over $400,000 in future compound growth. Not because I picked the wrong funds, but because I waited. Meanwhile, my buddy Harry, he started earlier. Same ETFs, same monthly contribution. But he started 2 years before me and hit $1.2 million while I was still climbing past $1 million. And my other friend, the one who laughed at both of us, he's still holding a handful of growth stocks worth about $450,000. Waiting, hoping, checking his portfolio every morning like it's a lottery ticket. That was almost me. And maybe right now it's you. But here's the thing, you can change the story starting today. Let's be honest, are you betting or building? Let's stop pretending retirement is about hitting a home run. It's not. It's not about picking the next Tesla. It's not about becoming a stock market genius. It's about freedom. The kind of freedom that comes from consistent compounding income, not speculation. See, the traditional mindset says, work 40 years, save what you can, and hope the market plays nice by the time you hit 65. But hope isn't a strategy. It's a delay tactic. Dividend investing flips the script. You're not waiting for something to happen. You're building something that happens automatically. Every single dividend is progress you can count. Every reinvested dollar buys more future income. Every year shortens your path to freedom. And while other people ride the emotional roller coaster of stock news, market dips, and breaking headlines, you just keep collecting income. No stress, no surprises, just math. If I were starting from scratch today, this is exactly what I'd do. Here's exactly what I'd do if I were starting this Monday morning with $100,000. 30% into SCHD, the core dividend growth engine. 30% into DHS, monthly payments for faster compounding. 25% into IDV, international exposure and risk balance. 15% into FGD, global diversification and correlation protection. Then turn on automatic dividend reinvestment. No exceptions. Set up monthly contributions, even if it's just $500 to start. And check in every 3 months to rebalance. If one ETF outperforms, sell a little and buy the laggard. That's it. What you don't do? You don't tweak constantly. You don't chase hot sectors. You don't try to beat the market. You don't panic. You build quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Look, no one's going to stop you at a party and ask, "Hey, how's your international dividend ETF doing?" This isn't flashy. It won't get you likes on Instagram, but it will buy you freedom. And that version of you, the one waking up with peace of mind, passive income, and a 7-figure portfolio, that version is built not by chasing excitement, but by choosing what works. So here's the choice. You can keep hoping something finally clicks, or you can be the person who quietly makes it happen. You've seen the plan, you've seen the numbers, and now you know the truth. Boring is the shortcut. Consistency is the strategy. Dividends are the path. Start this Monday, or wait another month, and donate another $4,782 to procrastination. Your future millionaire self is watching. Make him proud.